Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight. Tonight is a special episode, reaction review, Deadpool Wolverine, worldwide phenomenon. We're here tonight to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Late Night, Date Night, Daytime, Date Grind, wherever you are, whenever you are. This is a movie review episode. Tonight, I have in the co-pilot chair, Ranger Drew. It's hot. The lights are hot. We are fresh off Deadpool Wolverine, the threequel. Thank you for watching tonight, folks. Let's get straight into it. These are our immediate reactions. Drew and I just went to the theater. I've been to the theater in a long time. Straight to the theater, full Dolby, digital cinema setup, sound. What'd you say in the car? Vibrating your ass in the seat. We felt it. We watched it. We saw it.
Oh, I felt it.
Ooh, immediate reaction. So I had Drew. We rode home in silence. I said, we got to wait. We got to wait to give all of our reactions for the show because we need to feel it. Let me get this timer going so we don't miss our camera as usual. We need to feel it. So now, let's get it off our chest. Let's talk about it. I will start off immediately and just say it did not disappoint.
I was really happy with it. And let me tell you, it was hard to keep from talking about it because we're both talkers.
Oh, Drew and I have been watching movies together. It's one of my oldest friends, probably the oldest friend that's still alive, still with us. And we used to go see movies all the time as a kid. Mystery Science 3K style. We would just talk over the movie during the movie, talk about it after. We had respect this movie. We didn't talk during the movie, and it was difficult. We didn't talk after, so here we are. What are your immediate... There's so many things I want to talk about. I will say it did live up to the hype. So as of right now, largest, from what I understand, worldwide opening for a rated R movie ever for opening weekend. Did you know that?
Wow, I did not, no.
Highest R-rated opening movie ever, which is wild. So
That's
who
impressive.
knows where it's going to go? It's probably going to cross $1 billion,
Man.
which the B mark is wild, but it's going to. Okay, there's so many things I want to talk about, but I don't want to get... too blabbery to start. You know, the Deadpool energy is flowing. I'm going to talk. You're going to be more the Wolverine character. You're going to be stoic. You're going to be focused, a little more precise. So let me, as best I can, let you talk. Give us some reactions fresh out the movie now.
Well, first of all, let me say I'm always a skeptic when it comes to movies, and I was not disappointed at all. It was great. The pace was good. The flow was good. The music was phenomenal.
Yes. Oh my God, phenomenal.
Oh man,
music choice. I'm glad you mentioned that. Music was phenomenal. There's few key things you talked about already. Pace was killer. There was no point in the movie where I felt like this is dragging.
No.
Even when Deadpool, if I didn't say this already, spoiler alert. You need to see the movie before you watch this. Deadpool even pulls one aside and said, "We're in the home stretch" or something like that.
Yeah.
Like even lets you know, just in case you're thinking it's
there,
running.
folks.
Yeah, we're almost there. Pacing was crucial. Andrew and I talked about this in some of the Marvel movies. Though they are good, they lack in the pacing. It's not as tight. We talked about Infinity War, amazing. You looked up 2.5 hours, didn't even realize it.
Oh, it was great.
Endgame, dragged.
Yep.
Also, other problems with that. We won't talk about it here. But pacing, music. Other thoughts you had? And you can go into more detail on that. I just had to re-highlight what you said because I agree completely.
Like I said, the music was awesome. One thing that I did not like, if we want to jump into that, is there was too many asides to things that are not in the MCU.
You're a dark son of a bitch. You went straight for what you didn't like. We're trying to talk about the hype.
I'm sorry.
And you want to talk about it. There is no sorry. Is Deadpool sorry? No. He does whatever he wants.
He's not sorry. No shame there.
Okay, that's fine. So critique out the gate, hot. you're coming in. You didn't like the asides.
All right. If we want to go to the high points, I thought it was very light, very slapstick, which is against kind of like the vein of the Wolverine movies towards the end there, where they were very heavy.
This is a
very
Deadpool
emotional.
movie, not a Wolverine movie.
Yes, good point. It is a Deadpool movie. I don't want to say that Wolverine's like a sidekick, but it's definitely more of the Deadpool vein than the Wolverine vein.
Wolverine is in Deadpool's universe in this movie.
Yes, yeah.
And to your point to the asides, I get what you're saying, but I think that is true to the Deadpool movies. Deadpool is the only character, or one of the only characters, someone can fact check me down below, that breaks the fourth wall.
Yep, all the time.
So that's what makes him Deadpool. So that's kind of part of to be expected. So, but it might not be to your taste. Maybe he did it too much. I mean, look, Ryan Reynolds, he's a chatterbox. He's going to take those moments. And I think what makes some of the pop culture references so liked is that he makes it so modern. I read an article in the previous Deadpools is that he waits to do a lot of those ad libs till right before they release, because he wants some of that aside to be current. So I kind of enjoy that, because I think that a lot of the talk about the politics of the movies, the Fox cinema going down, even just pop culture stuff, I think that makes it funny, and it makes the fourth wall shtick more believable. Like he's talking to you in the now. And it probably won't age as well, but that doesn't matter. The money is made now,
Money
baby.
is made now.
So we'll take your criticism. So you also mentioned the music. Give me some thoughts on the music.
Oh, the opening scene. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
doing the
God.
dance, doing the NSYNC bye 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 dance while he's killing everybody.
I had already forgotten
it's like
it.
So good. So good.
I made a mental note about that. I didn't want to be on my phone in the movie, because a lot of times if I watch them here, I'll make notes to talk about on the podcast or review. But I didn't want to do that in the movie. I want to just experience it and be present. But I tried to make a mental note. I'm glad you remembered that. That was one of the best Marvel openings ever. I would put that up there with
so
like
good.
X2, the Nightcrawler opening scene where he attacks the president.
Oh yeah.
So up there, there's probably some other big ones too. But for an opening scene, my attention was grasped.
Oh, for sure.
Immediately. It was so Deadpool. The fight scene was ridiculous.
Yep.
Amazing fight scene. Hilarious. Ryan Reynolds doing the bye bye bye.
I hope it was really Ryan Reynolds doing the dance too. I like to think in my head that it was.
Had to be. I don't think a stuntman has those hips. Has to be. I mean,
shout out to Ryan Reynolds, man. You got it. Still got it.
God bless you, Ryan Reynolds, for leaking the test footage of the original Deadpool to get us here. You crafty son of a bitch. We thank you. The internet thanks you. I mean, there were so many moments too. Like we're probably going to spill over the normal shorter version, because there's so many things I want to talk about. Let's just stick with the opener for the moment. Deadpool putting on dead Wolverine's claws.
Oh, that was amazing.
Did you think you were going to see Deadpool fight with claws? I never imagined it.
No, it was phenomenal.
That was wild.
So first spoiler, like we said.
Spoiler alert.
He's using Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, just beat the living shit out of all these people.
It was funny. So obviously in Logan, Wolverine dies. Most dramatic ending for a character. We never thought that Wolverine would come back. Let alone Hugh Jackman. No one thought Wolverine would come back. And to open it with him digging up Wolverine's adamantium corpse and then using it to fight the TVA agents with was amazing. I will never forget that opening. And then the fact to put on the claws, that was fucking wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Breathless. And to do it, to bye.
While doing the dance in the middle.
I mean, one thing I noticed, the music was very poignant to the generation that grew up with these characters first hitting the screen and growing up with the cartoon show. Probably not as old as the comics, because that's a little older than us, but we were probably at the tail end of the generation that grew up in that era. Like we grew up when the cartoons were just coming out, the original 90s cartoons.
Yep.
And then I remember blown away when X-Men became a real movie.
Oh, yeah.
Could not believe it. Like, dream come true to see it hit the screen.
Late 90s. It was great.
All of the music reflected that era. It was very nostalgic. Like, I heard Goo Goo Dolls, Green Day.
Yep.
Obviously, for some fun stuff, Madonna, some throwbacks. But a lot of the music was kind of that time. And it just kind of subconsciously brought a lot of that time in your life back.
Yeah, especially the nostalgia of like the Wolverine in the yellow suit, like the '90s X-Men cartoon, like we talked about.
That was great. Big. And I know Ryan mentioned that this is what the people were waiting for. Like the original X-Men, the biggest knock that everyone had was that they did the all black suits. They wanted to try to make it realistic, which I get. So
they're going for that Matrix vibe, I think.
Yeah, well, to a degree, I'll support it because that was some of the movies that laid the foundation for Marvel movies existing. The Marvel, as far as I know, the Marvel production company didn't exist yet. This is before that. This is the Fox days. They own the rights to those characters. Yep. Marvel wasn't even a thing yet. So they really, it's almost like the Blade movies before it, trying to take superheroes, making it realistic. And they did a good job of walking that tightrope. But the thing they had to sacrifice was the suits. They did the all other suits, and that for the time it probably worked. But the fans wanted to see Wolverine. They wanted to see yellow and blue. They wanted to see a good suit because the suits look good now.
Oh, the suits are really good.
I've always been impressed with all the movies, how they've been able to take these characters, these superhero suits, and make them look pretty real. And I think that's a skill. There are professional artists and costume designers that do these, and I mean, they look fucking good. Deadpool looks
the costumes
pristine.
are really good.
Wolverine looks pristine. I was blown away. Did you think we were going to get to see the mask?
No, and I was waiting for you to pause for a breath because at the end, the final act will say, when he pulls down the mask and he's got the horns coming up out of the mask. Oh man, it almost gave me chills because of the nostalgia from the 90s cartoon.
I was hoping they would pull it off. Like I've seen pictures online of I think probably mock-ups of what it would look like. And obviously, if you looked at any of the leaked footage, which you probably didn't, but they had already shown Hugh Jackman, all the previews, and the suit. So you already knew you were getting the suit.
Yeah, you saw the yellow suit,
which the fans wanted. Oh my God, we wanted it, and it looked good. But
I'd have been satisfied with just that.
Yeah, me too, because it was realistic. But when he out of nowhere pulls over the hood, and you get to see the Wolverine mask, and with what I like the Deadpool white eyes. They do a good job with Deadpool and Wolverine. It's probably like a CGI, but the kind of blurry white eyes, you notice that? It looks good. And really Wolverine had the same thing. I mean, oh, fuck, man.
Like I said, it just about gave me chills.
Yeah. And then the moment he brings that out is when he goes to fight all of the universe's Deadpools.
Yeah, all like the discarded Deadpools.
And that scene was fucking wild. It was almost mostly a single take, which with CGI that can probably be fudged now. But to do a single take fight scene is challenging as fuck. There's a few highlights. We can go back to Old Boy. We can go to the original Daredevil show. Did you watch that?
The show?
The show Daredevil.
I don't think so.
Brother, you're missing out.
Oh, man.
So one of the takes to the Daredevil show was...
Write that down.
Yeah, write that down. They do a single take fight scene. And a lot of martial arts movies, that's kind of... it's like a big challenge to be able to do as long as you can handle a fight scene without a cut. Cheap action movies, B-action movies, when you have actors that aren't as talented or if they're not real martial artists, you do camera cuts. They'll cut it. You can make something very slow look very fast. You can edit your way to a good fight scene. When you do a single take, you cannot hide it. You cannot hide it. And in this Deadpool unmasking of Wolverine, they go on a long single take of them fighting all of the Deadpools. And it is wild. Probably the bloodiest scene in the movie.
Oh, yeah. It was very gory, but definitely worth it. Don't bring your kids.
No.
They
Rated
said the
R.
F word like over 100 times, I read.
Like I said, I believe that. It's like Wolf of Wall Street level.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed that, and it's almost a positive that Marvel has been, their movies have been in the shit for the last few years, that they almost had to let Ryan Reynolds have his way. I'm sure they were hesitant to be like, you know what? This is an R-rated property. There's really no way to make it not R-rated, especially with Ryan Reynolds helming it. He was set in his ways. You can't change that. And also, he's so tied to the character, similar to Wolverine. Like, it's very difficult to imagine anyone else playing Wolverine other than Hugh Jackman.
I agree.
And to basically out of necessity, Disney out of necessity needed a win. and they're like, fine. It probably goes against everything they stand for as a company, but they needed money. They needed a W, and they put their faith in Ryan Reynolds' hands, and goddamn did he deliver.
Yeah, their side shows like Loki and Hawkeye have been really good, but the movies have not been that great recently. So I completely agree. They needed that big win, and like you said, they're willing to bow to the gore and the language to make it happen. They had to.
Fucking had to.
Yeah,
all of their
sure.
half their movies been terrible. So a lot of their shows been terrible, but Deadpool Wolverine did not disappoint.
So good.
Chimi Changa's motherfucker. Oh, what else do I want to talk
Question.
about? Go.
Favorite cameo in the movie?
Oh, fuck. There's
only like 3 dozen to choose from.
There are so many. Spoiler alert. This is a fan service. There is so many cameos. My favorite cameo, I'm gonna have to say what I found hilarious was the Chris Evans Captain America fake out to be Johnny Storm.
Yeah,
because
that was pretty
people
funny.
forget he was the original Johnny Storm, and then he got recast as Captain America, which obviously launched the franchise. But people forget he was Johnny Storm, and that was a hilarious fake out. I enjoyed that, and I'll also say the Gambit.
That was pretty surprising.
So you might not know that. Well, so here's the thing. So Channing Tatum, the Gambit cameo, Channing Tatum supposedly was cast as Gambit. And this movie was held in development hell forever. So the internet was always talking about it. I think he purported this rumor. I think he wanted to play Gambit. I'm dead serious. I think he wanted to play Gambit so bad that he put this rumor out in the internet universe. But this is the talk for a long time, is that there was a Gambit movie in development and Channing Tatum was attached forever. And then it eventually just died out. He was disappointed right on social media. So for him to step into that, I thought was funny. And they did it service that. They made fun of him a lot.
They made fun of him.
He did a bad accent. Yes. He was probably trying his best. And they laid into him. So those were probably my 2 favorites. What were yours?
First of all, the Channing Tatum was funny because, like you said, they made fun of him. Deadpool asks if the minions were his vocal coach or something to that effect,
the dialect coach. Oh my God, because his accent was so fucking bad.
So bad. You couldn't understand half of his words, and oh man.
The Creole accent is hard anyway. This has always been my struggle about anyone playing Gambit, is I think that's a really tough gig.
It'd be very tough, but man, would I love to see a Gambit movie.
Everyone wants
like
it. Everyone
top
wants
tier
it.
From the 90s cartoon. Oh my God, he was so good.
I've got good news for you. Good news, bad news. Good news, I will play Gambit. Bad news is probably going to be 6 years from now. I'll give it 5. I will play Gambit. I was destined for it. My biggest worry is the accent, but I will play Gambit.
All right, let's hear the accent.
No, I'm telling you, the accent is the biggest problem. I'm going to see if I can convince them to skip the accent. All of the martial arts, everything about the character, I can handle. The accent, I'm terrified of.
You're just going to dub an accent over your acting?
Fucking Creole accent? Who even talks like that? I'm going to have to live in Louisiana for like fucking 8 months before I shoot that goddamn movie. All right, so who else did you like?
All right. I thought Blade was funny.
Blade. People forget Blade is the Marvel universe and one of the original superhero movies.
Yeah, and it was definitely, like we said, not of that era where Marvel movies were like king. So to see Wesley Snipes come out as Blade was... Because we loved the Blade movies as kids. I didn't know it was a Marvel movie back then. It was just this, cool dude with a sword killing vampires, which is awesome. You know another connection? Lest you forget, Ryan Reynolds plays Hannibal King in Blade Trinity. Do you remember Blade Trinity? Man, what a throwback. Ryan Reynolds is Hannibal King, one of the main characters in the Blade series in Blade Trinity. All right, there you have it. They are connected. In fact, that's when Ryan Reynolds started moving into dramatic roles. He did Amityville Horror, and he did Blade Trinity. He got jacked for both of them. There's a huge, I remember the Men's Health cover for Blade Trinity. Ryan Reynolds, Men's Health cover. This is kind of his coming out party. I vaguely remember that too, because Men's Health was a staple in my high school years. Yeah, big inspiration to my fitness career. When I was doing a lot of training, Men's Health is a magazine. People used to read magazines back in the day. Yeah. And I used to, whenever I would go to the airport, I would buy a Men's Health magazine. And I bought the Ryan Reynolds one, and I kept that one
the cover and some of the shoots as workout inspiration because he in that movie he had one of the best bodies I've ever seen at the time. Still to this day, his fitness was out of control.
Yeah.
So workout superstar, but that's when Ryan Reynolds was working into a serious actor from all the comedies he had done.
Yep.
It was that, and then Amityville Horror. He wanted to show his acting chops.
Yeah,
so
everyone just
total
remembers
throwback.
Van Wilder when we were a kid as like his breaking out party.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the college movie ever. I wanted to be Van Wilder in college. Everybody
right.
did. Watched that movie hundreds of times, but people forget about that. Another funny thing is that I think at the time I read that Wesley Snipes did not like Ryan Reynolds. Full circle, Wesley in the fucking dust, old man, and Ryan's bringing him on a movie.
Yep.
So fucking suck it, Wesley. You know?
Old Wes Snipes.
You know what they say? You see the same people going to the top as you do on the way down.
It's true.
Motherfucker. Other notable cameos. Elektra. The Elektra movie from the Ben Affleck Daredevil. People forget Ben Affleck. Another old school Marvel movie.
School, man.
And then she got her own spin-off movie, which is terrible.
Yes. I don't think I ever saw it. I don't think I would had any interest in seeing all the spin-offs that came those days.
It's not worth your time at all.
No.
Oh, any other monster cameos that were missing? I mean, there were so many. There's almost too many to count. I mean, that movie blew me away. So you threw a negative, I'll throw a negative. The story was good. I think I would have liked it to be like a little bit better. I mean, I was not disappointed in the movies. Don't hate me. Don't come at me. The movie was excellent. It was what a Deadpool movie should be. But I also think the storyline could have been deeper. I like the idea of making a very deep, real storyline and doing Deadpool's comedy around it. And they did pretty good. That's probably my only qualm, I would say, is that I would have preferred like a really deep storyline and then Deadpool thrown in it.
Yeah, I'll agree. So for the first probably 30 minutes, maybe an hour, I don't know, I wasn't keeping track of the time, but it seemed like, okay, who's the villain? What's like the real conflict going on? So it kind of worked itself out in the end, but it took about a third of the movie to really figure out like where the plot was going. Yeah,
it kind of started out as just an homage to a lot of Fallen Fox characters, and that's what a lot of when they're in the Dead universe, whatever it's called, a lot of that was kind of the homage to the death of the Fox universe.
Yeah.
Like you got to see him fight the original Sabretooth. The original Sabretooth. That was cool to see that, even though it was quick. You saw Toad. You saw some of the original.
Pyro.
Mm-hmm. So I think that was cool, but a little bit of the plot was lost. And just the TVA, let me save this universe. I would really like to see the Deadpool character in a more dramatic plot line. So other than that, the movie hit every note I wanted to hit. I just think I would have liked a little deeper storyline.
I agree. Like you said, it was kind of an afterthought. It was like, oh yeah, by the way, the timeline's going to end, so we should probably stop that.
That's kind of the basic, I guess, gist of it.
Yeah.
It's just...
This universe is dying or going to be killed.
Can you save it? TVA, all the TV show TVA shit. I'll go to this universe. Oh, grab this Wolverine. Oh my God, that reminds me. One of the best parts of the whole movie was when he first was looking for the right Wolverine.
Oh, yeah, going to all the different universes.
All the different Wolverines. And those are all real Wolverines from the comics. Those are all real Wolverines.
Oh,
that was
weird.
Wild to me.
Wow.
Like the Wolverine where one of them gets his hand chopped off, one of them where he's bearing on the cross. Like it's almost like the one where he's got the eye patch and plant, but like these were all real Wolverines that he's searching for the right one. That to me was wild. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, and I guess if you're not really into the comics like me, then you wouldn't really know that. But that's good that it pays homage to like the true deep fans like that.
Yeah, and I'm not even super versed in the comics. I'm just aware that those are from the comics. I haven't read the comics. Don't go after me, people in the comments. I'm just aware that those are real versions of Wolverine because he's probably the most popular X-Men character ever, at least one of the. And his storylines are just they even did the brown and yellow Wolverine suit when he was fighting the Hulk.
Yeah,
I mean he hit all the notes. What else do you want, fans? What do you want?
Yeah, the real old X-Men costume.
Oh. I mean, that's, I don't know. I mean, he did it right. Ryan Reynolds did it right.
Yeah, overall, like I would see it again.
I would watch it over and over for sure. Because I feel like even in this, there's going to be, when we wrap and we cut the camera, there's going to be so many things that I forgot that I had wish I had mentioned because there was just so much to go over in the movie.
Oh, the different versions of Deadpool that he actually interacts with. Hilarious.
Oh, yeah. The
goody two shoes version.
The Karma Deadpool, Good Karma Deadpool, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was funny. I laughed out loud in the theater multiple times.
Me too.
I think it takes a lot for me to laugh out loud.
Oh yeah, me too. In a movie, in a public setting.
It was really anywhere, but a public setting for sure. And I was laughing. I had forgotten people were around me.
Yep.
I was laughing out loud. A lot of the timely comments about some of the pop culture stuff, some of the stuff in the show. I mean, there are a couple moments I was like dying laughing.
It was really good.
Like I wish I could remember some of the moments. I mean, there were just Ryan Reynolds is so on point. Like
delivery's great, timing's great. Let's go see it again.
I would. Do you think they're gonna do more?
In typical Marvel fashion, they left the door open for more.
They always do.
They always do.
Ryan made a lot of jokes about Hugh being tied to this character till he's 90.
Yep.
I think we're going to do more review. I think we're going to cut this. We're going to do another camera roll. We're going to give the audience more on this review. All right, we're back from a quick camera cut. Deadpool Wolverine reactions. I want to talk about, let's go back to the music. The music blew my mind. It pulled emotion out of me, out of a Deadpool movie I didn't expect. I will say, to cut to the ending, I think it was Madonna. I think it was Madonna song when Deadpool and Wolverine had to hold the antimatter and matter machine together.
Yeah.
Assuming they were going to die to save everyone's worlds. I strangely enough, I got emotional in that moment. I felt, I didn't expect in a Deadpool movement a Deadpool movie. This is Scotch talking. Cheers. Cheers to you guys. I didn't expect to feel that kind of emotion in a Deadpool movie, and I think that's really a credit to Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman had a lot of scenes where I was like, damn, like this is a real movie. He had some pretty he had some pretty dramatic scenes, don't you think?
Yeah.
He had at least 3 moments where tears in his eyes. He was serious about his losses in the movie, and I believed all of it. It wasn't just a fucking crackerjack Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, fucking dick jokes everywhere, making the audience laugh. There was real moments in that. And at the end,
don't get us wrong, there's plenty of dick jokes.
There's plenty of dick jokes and ass slapping, but Reynolds too, I will say. There are a few moments where you could tell he put, the Deadpool humor aside. And he had some moments like we were talking about, like, I want to make a difference and I want my life to matter.
Yeah, he wants to matter.
There were some real moments in there, but Hugh especially, I mean, and that for whatever reason, that at the end, and this is both of them, like them sacrificing themselves at the end, like I felt something. I didn't expect to feel that type of emotion in a Deadpool movie.
I agree. And I also honestly believe that they were going to die. And they were going to tie a nice little bow on this storyline.
I thought it was too. I expected that.
And that it was going to be, okay, no more expectations for Deadpool 4, but here we are.
It's too much money. Unfortunately, it's too much money, but I agreed with you. I was like, damn, like they're going to end the Deadpool trilogy really well, an emotional ending.
Yeah.
They brought Wolverine back to life just to kill him one more time. I thought it would agree with you. I thought it would have been a nice
redemption.
bow. Yeah. Yeah, another Wolverine that didn't perform like some of the others.
Yep.
Yeah, I was surprised.
What did you think of the Wolverine, this universe's Wolverine's backstory?
Oh, I liked it.
I liked it too.
That he basically let everyone down.
Yep, that he wanted him to be, he was so forcefully rejecting being part of the X-Men team that ultimately they perished because of his lack of participation.
It wouldn't seem realistic.
Right.
Like very much an anti-hero. He flat out said,
yep.
I went out and got hammered
mm-hmm.
when they needed me most, and they went out and they all died. And I came back drunk. Like, that hit hard. That was almost like some real life shit for me when I've been in dark places. Like, you know, people are counting on you, whatever, life's moving by you. You're out getting hammered, and shit goes down. Like you,
and
ultimate
people
life
around,
letdown.
people you love are suffering.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was some real shit. And then to see, they didn't go into a lot, but to see the Cassandra Nova dream sequence, or not dream sequence, where she was in Wolverine's head of his universe when he's at the line of tombstones, which I'm assuming they're tombstones, all those monoliths, the stone monoliths.
I kind of thought so too, but it's not really clear what they are.
Wasn't clear, but I felt like these were tombstones in his mind of all the people he had let die, and it was endless.
Yeah.
That was a really, I think, dramatic scene for me.
And he like hear the violence of them dying in his head.
Yes, yeah. When you first started, you hear the horror.
Yeah.
I mean, some real moments. Whatever actress, I forget her name. I meant to look it up, but no prep. Played Cassandra Nova. She was good.
I thought it was really good too.
She had a tough gig in that she had to be a very realistic, dramatic character with not a ton of screen time. She was
a ton of screen time, and unless you're like a comic book junkie, no backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one knows who she was. I didn't know who she was.
They gave it to you. They gave you the brief that she is Professor X's twin.
Yeah.
Tried to kill him at pre-birth, all that.
That was like a 30-second, like,
yeah,
this is who she is. And you're like, you just bought it.
You're right. I did buy it. And I think that's a credit to her acting. And I think she was a very important character. She was one of the two, I would say, villains.
Yes.
It's really her and the TVA guy.
Yep.
They're the villains.
Mr. Paradox.
Yeah, Mr. Paradox and her are the villains. And with that little dialogue and screen time, like I believed her. She was good. She was dramatic. And to be dramatic in a Deadpool movie is difficult.
Oh, definitely.
You get Ryan Reynolds chirping every 5 seconds about, dick jokes and straight face. Her and Hugh Jackman. To have a straight face and play their character through all that was impressive.
How many takes do you think it took for some of the rants? Like, okay, so I'll spoil the Easter egg.
Oh, give them all. This is a spoiler alert. Give them all.
With Chris Evans doing the rant about Cassandra Nova.
That's the post-credit scene. Watch the post-credit scene. Of course, Marvel movie. I love that they still do that.
Oh,
it's one of my favorite traditions.
And everyone in the whole theater knows.
Yes.
Everyone's just sitting there. It's like, just scroll through the credits. Just get them over with.
And this is a funny one.
We know it's coming.
This is a good Deadpool one.
Kind of goes back to the plot where Deadpool gets Johnny Storm killed because of running his mouth. Mm-hmm. And you can't really tell if he really said it or not. And then in the post-credits, it's Johnny Storm spilling his guts about how much he hates her and getting himself killed.
Well,
man, his rant was like 15 seconds, just like filthily bashing her. And how you get through that without laughing just like confounds me.
And Chris Evans in a Boston accent, because I think he's a Boston guy in real life.
Oh, yeah?
I think that's why. He goes straight Boston, fucking Boston. Fucking Boston.
Oh, yeah. He's just tearing into her.
He goes hard in the paint. It's, everyone's so used to seeing Captain America, straight laced, and they make a lot of jokes about it directly.
Yep.
About Kevin Feige, who is, the head of Marvel Productions, Marvel Studios, saying, what they can and can't do with certain characters. There's so many jokes about no cocaine, not messing with Captain America, and then you see Chris Evans, and you think that's who it is, and it turns out to be Johnny Storm, his former character.
Yep.
Some funny stuff that they pulled off.
Yeah.
Very thoughtful.
Speaking of cocaine, the blind owl.
She's one of the funniest characters in all of the Deadpool movies.
Hilarious.
When they go on the run of the nicknames for cocaine in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
Or what is it?
At Wade's birthday party.
Oh, yeah. At the end, when they come back to the house and she's like, you got any white lining? I'm shaking like a vibrator on repeat or something like that.
Devil's dandruff.
Oh, my God. Yeah, devil's dandruff. Man, she has always been funny.
Even when in the scene where they're killing all the expelled Deadpools, and she's like, man, I wish I was deaf and not blind. Looking out her window at all this carnage. Hilarious.
No, she was good. She was good. A lot of characters they brought back. X-23, which is a.k.a. Wolverine's daughter.
Yep.
Her lab-grown daughter. That was a big one to bring back. A lot of people weren't sure if she was going to come in. She did. Pivotal character in getting her to bring Wolverine back. I will say too, this is a version of Wolverine. This universe's Wolverine was, I think, what the Wolverine everyone wanted. This was the drunk, angry Wolverine. If you look at the original movies and then some of the later ones, you know, he's a little more tame.
A little more sentimental.
He's a little more...
He was definitely not that in this movie.
Not family friendly, but yeah, just some more mature Wolverine. People wanted to see the drunk, angry, sloppy Wolverine, and that's what they got out of this one.
Yeah, he probably told Deadpool to shut the fuck up or shut his fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Probably at least a dozen times.
And that's what people want. That's Wolverine.
Will you just shut the fuck up?
Wolverine isn't a hero.
No.
He's basically a Highlander psychopath. Doesn't fucking die, psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fans love him. I'm glad. To a degree, it is kind of bogus they brought him back to life because Logan was a really profound ending, but he's such a fan favorite. It's one of those things you'll forgive just because you want to see more Wolverine.
I was not upset at all.
No, that's the thing. Most characters for the storyline, I would be upset. I'd be like, this is bullshit. They had a nice ending, blah blah blah, but it's you know the fan side of me is like, you know, I'll sweep it under the rug. Just to get more Wolverine. I'm okay.
But you know, Marvel opened that door as soon as they opened that multiverse.
Yeah, but I think this also kind of killed it. I'm hoping that this movie kills the multiverse. I'm hoping that's part of it because they even talk about it. He directly talks about how shitty the multiverse is.
Yep. He said they tried that, and the first multiverse was in Wizard of Oz in 1930 or whatever.
Well, it's almost like when TV shows and movies used to do dream sequence.
Yeah.
You'd watch a whole movie or whatever, and spoiler alert, it was just a dream. You're like, what the fuck? You know, that's the ending you gave me? Oh, it was all a dream. Like, that's how the multiverse feels.
I agree.
Just a multiverse.
Right. Oh, this isn't the real Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh, the writers are on strike again. Oh, it's just multiverse. What was the multiverse?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. I was a little over the multiverse pretty much in the middle of Endgame.
Yeah, I didn't like an Endgame. A huge qualm for me was multiverse. I thought Infinity War was so much better than Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
Endgame, I was really disappointed in. I didn't like this running around time travel multiverse. I thought that was bullshit. I was
the
really
only
disappointed.
good part of Endgame was the ending fight scene, which is like 50 minutes long.
Mm-hmm. But the general premise, going back in time, blah blah, fucking blah. Write a better story.
Yeah, we all go to a different timeline, and then we magically fix everything.
So disappointed.
Especially after the high of Infinity War. Just such a good movie.
Yeah, and it's funny. And Endgame did, I think, financially better, or at least similar, because everyone had to watch the conclusion.
Well, yeah, everyone's riding that wave.
Everyone gave it praise because it's very dramatic when Iron Man dies. I think it was average. They could have done so much better.
I agree.
This is not Deadpool, but I'll throw you a quick aside. Did you see the big announcement at Comic-Con?
I did.
They announced that Dr. Doom will be played by Robert Downey Jr., a.k.a. Iron Man.
How do you feel about that?
I'm sweeping it under the rug like Hugh Jackman coming back because they've made such garbage. And I know Robert Downey Jr. is such a good actor, and he knows the Marvel Universe so well. He knows how to work with those production teams so well that I know he will do a good job. And it's kind of an interesting idea. So that'll alone tell us the multiverse isn't over. So he comes, from what I understand from the internet tells me, the internet never lies, that, this version of him becomes Dr. Doom instead of Iron Man and comes into their world, and that's how he exists.
I read, again, internet, could be all BS. I read that Dr. Doom steals Iron Man's technology and wants to redeem himself in one of his timelines. And so he's trying to use Iron Man's technology to become a better version of himself and be a hero instead. So I have no idea what we have in store.
I don't know either, but I'm sweeping it under the rug because Marvel's been making trash, and I trust Robert Downey to do a good job.
But again, is this just Marvel saying the same thing that they to Robert Downey Jr. as they did to, Ryan Reynolds? Like, just come save us. We don't care.
If they save us, I don't care.
I mean, they had such a good run, and yeah, if he saves it, I don't care either because I like Marvel movies.
Look at it after the Avengers. They went on a streak of bullshit.
Yeah.
And the ratings show, the fans show, the streaming, the movies, the streaming, it was all trash. If this is what it takes to save us, I will allow it.
Wait. Are you saying you don't love Thor: Love and Thunder?
That fucking sucked. You know, it's funny. I like Taika Waititi. I like a lot of his work, the director.
Yeah. Yep.
But that movie fucking sucked.
It is bad.
The only good thing that I would say that came after that was Loki.
Yeah.
I've
the
said
Loki
this
series
again.
was good.
And the Loki series I thought was amazing. A lot of credit to Tom Hiddleston. He's amazing. Very dramatic actor, makes it very realistic.
Yeah.
And set design and cinematography.
Yep.
One of the things I've said constantly about Loki is I'm obsessed with the look and balance of all the shots. The look is phenomenal. It's almost like 70s technology, 60s technology. You know, how the TVA runs. I love that idea. And then the fact that when you look at all of the camera shots, it's almost like movies of decades ago where everything is symmetrical. All of the shots are balanced so well. It has a different look than all of the other Marvel shows and films. Like I'd love to see if it's the cinematographer. It has to be in some of the set design, but the amount of balance and symmetry in that show is wild. It's probably one of the most beautiful Marvel properties I think that exists.
Yeah, it's really good. And you have to give it credit because the movies aside, there's so much TV content online that if it's not good, people are going to watch an episode and just dump it and go to something else.
Yeah, and that's what happens.
Yeah, and the fact that it, came out the second season just shows that it had staying power and that it was done so well. I like the Hawkeye series personally.
Ooh, the Christmas special.
The Christmas special was...
That's what it is. It's a Christmas show. Him and his... Oh, man, you might be the only one that liked Hawkeye. I will respect your opinion, but
All right. That's fine. That's fine.
The whole thing takes place in Christmas, right?
You're right. Yep.
That's fine. People like Christmas. That's fine.
I mean, Die Hard took place during Christmas.
That's probably the best Christmas property ever. Comment down below. Die Hard, Christmas movie or not?
Oh, definitely.
Number one.
Definitely a Christmas movie.
What would you
Is
put?
it the best Christmas movie?
What would you put over it?
Trading Places.
Ooh.
Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy.
That's high up there. I'll give you that. Die Hard's always my number one. I think, one, because I love it, and two, because I think it's so controversial. The people are like, no, it's not a Christmas movie. Ralphie is, what is that Christmas story? Ralphie is a Christmas movie.
Ralphie.
If it's not Ralphie, I don't want it.
Elf or Bust.
Yeah, that's a newer one. That's a newer one. Deadpool Wolverine did not disappoint.
No, not at all.
One of the few movies that lived up to the hype. So we are 1 week late on the release. I would have loved to have been more life prepared to watch this and review it early.
Life happens.
But that's okay. Life happens. But we're still 1 week after, so I've already seen the hype. I've already seen clips. I tried to avoid every spoiler I can. And so my expectations were already high. I knew how well I was performing. My expectations were already high.
Agreed.
And it brought it. I'm a big Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman fan, and they fucking brought it.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Like I said before, would see it again.
Favorite moments. Let's go through it. If you have to pick one favorite moment in the whole movie, what sticks out to you the most? What hit you the hardest?
Honestly, because, like we said before, it was such a Deadpool-themed movie. It's in the Deadpool universe.
Absolutely.
The slapstick part of it just killed me.
Any particular scene or moment?
Yes. When he's using the Wolverine skeleton to kill somebody, and he jams a bone into somebody's junk, and then it looks like he's stroking the bone, and it's like squirting blood outside of it.
I remember
in
you.
slow-mo.
I remember you were dying. The movie just started, and Drew was dying in the theater.
5 minutes, and he's jerking an adamantium bone on somebody, and it's squirting blood out of it. So Deadpool.
Yeah, and that's what's different about him in the Marvel Universe. I'll be really intrigued to see if they can and choose to integrate him into the real universe. It would be really cool to see him in some of the major movies. Even if he doesn't break the fourth wall, I would like to see him integrate, because he does integrate to a degree in the comics, if I'm not wrong. I think he does integrate those characters. So
Even make him a cameo. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Have him come in, make a couple jokes, embarrass himself, get kicked out, humbled, and then, it'd be fine. It'd be funny.
Yeah.
What's your favorite moment?
There's a lot of moments. One of my top, because I didn't expect it, was the ending scene of them holding the matter and antimatter device together, just because I didn't expect to care.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm in an emotional point in the week, who knows? But I swear I felt like it was like a real movie. Like I felt something. That was big. The fight scenes, I think they did an amazing job for the fans. They gave, I want to say, 2 straight Deadpool Wolverine fights where they fight each other. And then Deadpool and
2 good ones too.
And then when Deadpool and Wolverine fight all the other Deadpools. So that kind of counts the same thing. But to see Deadpool and Wolverine fight each other, I think is what the fans wanted. You have 2 superheroes with healing powers.
Yeah, that basically cannot die.
That both are badasses in their respect. To see those fight scenes, I think that's what the fans wanted. And then to see them to work together, which was that final big one.
Yep. All right.
But that was huge for me because the fight scenes were fucking good.
They were good.
Some of the clips, so like some of the shots impressed me. Like they look like comic book Wolverine shots. Like one of them jumping out of the bus or something, or like just the way they were posed. Looked like comic book iconic images.
And then I know which scene you're talking about. That is in the where they're killing all the other Deadpools. They jump out of the back of the bus. Inside the bus, they kill like 10 other Deadpools. And then they jump out in the back, and Wolverine's doing like the full stretch.
Yeah, that was one
pose.
of them. There's multiple times.
And Ryan Reynolds or Deadpool falls down. It's like, I had to fuck it up by not sticking the landing.
It's perfect.
Yeah. What disappointed you about the movie?
Probably not a lot. Not a lot. Probably, like I said, I feel like I'm just splitting hairs at this point. I would have liked a little bit of a deeper storyline. I felt like it was just kind of like Multiverse of Madness, kind of just a reason to throw all these characters in, which I wasn't mad at because I liked seeing those. I liked seeing a lot of the Fox characters get their service finally paid. You know, they got to end, like they even talk about it directly. Like they get to kind of end their stories. The Fox universe didn't end. A lot of the characters. So I liked that. But I would have liked a more well-crafted story. And I know that's not really Deadpool, but I think they could walk it well. Give a really dramatic story with Deadpool telling it through his eyes and breaking the fourth wall. But other than that, I don't have a lot of complaints. The music, oh my God, I'll say it again. The music just kept me in and made me feel something.
It matched really well to what was going on, which is, I mean, obviously an important part of music in any movie, but they nailed it.
Like it's funny that the juxtaposition of having, you know, some of the most gory scenes in the movie to kind of like upbeat old tracks.
Yeah.
Like just what a tone.
Definitely.
What about you? What do you think was any love lost?
So I think a couple characters might have been underutilized. One to me was Juggernaut.
Oh, you want to see Juggernaut?
He didn't do anything.
The original Vinnie Jones, when I thought was terrible. I mean, he's a good actor, but Juggernaut has always been, I think, a difficult character to do, and it kind of looks like shit half the time.
Yeah, he doesn't look great, but I mean, he's got cool powers, and he just, in this movie, they showed him, but basically just as we have Juggernaut in the movie.
Pretty much, and it wasn't even the original one. Vinnie Jones plays the original. It was just another buff dude.
He didn't do any fighting that I saw. He's just
got
there.
Decapitated.
Just a buff dude with a big helmet that they wanted to steal.
I thought the Henry Cavill Wolverine was funny.
Oh, that was funny.
I'm assuming that he's probably been up in the casting to recast Wolverine. I know they've wanted to recast Wolverine. Maybe they won't now, but I think he's probably been one of like the easiest go-tos because he's so good at Superman.
The Witcher.
Yeah, The Witcher. He's so good in all these. I think people just expect him to do everything. James Bond. He's such a go-to guy now. Everyone wants him in everything, so he's been a go-to. That was funny to see a different actor play Wolverine.
It was. I like that.
And the original short Wolverine. People forget
Wolverine?
The original Wolverine's supposed to be 5'3".
Oh
I think that's. I think
Seriously?
I think his comic book height. I think his original height. I think it's 5'3". It's something ridiculously short.
I mean, when you think of Wolverine, it's the fact that it's like such a tough and gnarly package.
It is. It's a
small body.
It's a small little tough critter. That's what a Wolverine is. And so when he went to, I think, the first Wolverine,
the first one,
that to me was funny because
he jumps up the bar stool.
Hugh Jackman, I think, is 6'3", so he's a full foot taller than the traditional Wolverine. That was some of the hype people were mad about. Is he's too tall. Wolverine's supposed to be the biggest badass at 5'3". So to see the midget, what the fans wanted, I was dying. I was dying watching midget Wolverine.
It was a good start. Good start to the Wolverine search.
He just scrapped that little nugget. Oh my God. All the Wolverines. Oh, I did like to see the TVA stuff again because I like the Loki series, which is a lot of that TVA.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to see like Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson cameo.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see like a little cameo from him or something like that. But or even Tom Hiddleston. You know, Tom Hiddleston I think is phenomenal. One of the best actors to have joined the MCU ever. I think that's why he pulled off like his series. I thought was probably the only series is worth a damn.
So like Hawkeye.
Dang, hey, I'm not mad at it. There's shows for everybody. Hawkeye, yeah, I enjoy him as a character. To me, it's a little more family friendly, and maybe that's the audience are going for, a little cheesier. But that's kind of the Christmas vibe, so I'm not mad at it.
I liked that it was kind of like a passing the torch moment.
Yeah, because I think they were trying to start like a Young Avengers series. Yeah. And I think that's probably going to get scrapped now. Scrapped.
Oh, well, they tried.
Because here's what's interesting is I'm pretty sure they are revamping X-Men. They are obviously redoing the Avengers storyline some way with Doctor Doom. But a lot of it is the mutant saga. This is the future of the MCU, which is interesting because they finally... This is always the balance of the Avengers and the MCU. So Fox owned the X-Men property for a while the Avengers was coming out. They finally have acquired the X-Men property, which is probably fortuitous timing. Because now they can take that property and move it into the next Avengers series or whatever they want to do. But I think it's called the Mutant Saga. I think it's called Avengers: The Mutant Saga. So now they're going to go into the rise of mutants. So this is kind of a good segue for those characters to finally enter, like this version of Wolverine. Like, where do you think it's going to go? Where do you want it to go?
When I think of Marvel, I think of the X-Men.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'd be really excited to see just a total revamp of the X-Men. And what I love about Marvel is that they always have like, they think in the long game, right?
Yeah.
So they think like for the next 15 years, how can we make the storyline relevant? So I think that there's so much they can do with the X-Men with all the depth of comic books they have and all the different storylines with the Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse, which has been done.
But they botched it.
Right.
The Dark Phoenix storyline.
We'll just forget the Fox. We'll just forget the Fox timeline.
Fox did some things right. The beginning stuff was good, like X-Men 1 and 2. But
it was good.
Man, did they botch the Phoenix saga. That could be one of the most dramatic properties ever.
Oh, yeah. So I look forward to Marvel putting their spin on it and making it basically what they did with Avengers, but in the X-Men scope, I'll say.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope they do it right. I hope Mutant Saga will be good. I was impressed because I wasn't as much. I was like you. We were X-Men fans.
Yep.
And I was blown away how well they took the Avengers property and made everyone love that. So if they can do that with the X-Men, sky's the limit.
Sky is the limit.
One thing I'll tell you, I run out of quick time. I have held the Wolverine claws.
What?
Wolverine has real fucking claws. So back in the Hollywood days when Hollywood thought I was going to be a big star, I was at an event, a party for one of the producers, the original producer of X-Men. And this guy was a fan of my early work and thought, invited me because, I was hoping to be successful at the time. I have held the Wolverine claws, the real ones. It is like feeling like the quickening of the Highlander. I have never felt such power. They are real metal claws. They have a handle through them, and it's literally these giant razor blades you hold. They are wild. So some of the movies, they do CGI. Some of them did the real claws, but the claws fucking exist. They are real, and they are powerful.
How does Hugh Jackman not have those? Like,
I think he does have a set. They done some of the press tour with the Wolverine claws. We're running low on time. If the camera hasn't died, guys, Wolverine claws are real. This movie is fucking real. It's amazing. Go see it. Hope you had fun tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for Ranger Drew for coming in and giving us his opinions on the movie. I love you. Good night.